I can free your father. Forever.
Save my father.
Chapter 3.
And now show I'm yours.
Driven by vengeance.
Welcome to the dark.
The low, steady hum of the Maybach's engine vibrated through the plush leather interior, a stark contrast to the howling gale outside. Heat radiated from the hidden vents, slowly thawing Elena's frozen skin, but a deep, hollow chill remained locked inside her chest. She sat huddled on the far side of the seat, her muddy boots resting awkwardly against the pristine carpet. Rain dripping from her dark hair pooled onto the flawless black leather beneath her. Beside her sat Dominic Rossi, an immovable shadow sipping amber liquor, as if they were taking a casual midnight drive rather than fleeing the ruins of her life. Elena stared down at her bruised, trembling hands. Her scraped palms burned from the sharp gravel of the Vance driveway. But the physical sting was nothing compared to the phantom ache of Leo's rejection. "You smell like an opportunist." The words refused to fade. They echoed endlessly, twisting inside her head like a serrated blade. "If you continue to bite your lip like that, you will draw blood, little bird." Dominic's deep baritone cut through the heavy silence. Smooth as velvet, yet possessing an underlying steel that commanded immediate attention. Elena flinched, relaxing her jaw with a small, shuddering breath. She turned her head slowly, her vision still slightly blurred by unspilled tears, to meet his piercing, hazel gaze. "Why are you doing this?" she asked, her voice raspy and fragile, barely audible above the quiet purr of the vehicle. "You don't know who I am. I'm nobody." Dominic turned his head toward her, his expression unreadable in the dim, golden, ambient light of the cabin. He swirled the amber glass in his hand, watching the ice clink against the crystal before taking a slow sip. "Nobody is thrown out into a storm by a Vance unless they pose a threat," Dominic remarked coldly, his eyes narrowing as he studied her trembling profile. "And Leo Vance only destroys things he believes are beneath him." "I was never a threat to him," Elena whispered, her chest tightening until she could barely draw air. She pulled her knees toward her chest, wrapping her arms around her wet legs in an instinctive posture of defense. "I loved him. I waited 3 years for him. I wrote him 99 letters, and he threw me out into the dirt like I was worthless." A dark, dangerous spark ignited in Dominic's eyes, a brief, volatile flash of anger that vanished as quickly as it appeared. "A man who measures a woman's worth by her pedigree is a fool," Dominic said softly, his voice dropping an octave, heavy with a terrifying absolute authority. "And a man who discards loyalty deserves to lose everything he holds dear." Before Elena could process his words, a sharp, buzzing vibration echoed from inside the pocket of her wet dress. Her heart leaped into her throat. With numb, clumsy fingers, she pulled out her ancient, cracked smartphone. The screen illuminated her pale face, displaying an incoming call from a number she knew by heart. "Father," she gasped out, her fingers trembling violently as she pressed the green button and held the phone to her ear. "Dad, are you okay?" "Elena." Her father's voice came through the speaker, but it was not the steady, reassuring voice of the man who had raised her alone. It was broken, breathless, and laced with pure terror. Background noises filled the line crashing porcelain, heavy boots stomping across wooden floorboards, and harsh, unfamiliar shouting. "Dad! What's happening? Where are you?" Elena sat up straight, her fingers clutching the phone so tightly her knuckles turned stark white. "Elena, don't come home. Stay away," her father wheezed, his breath ragged. "They came into the house. They took everything." "The Vance family, what?" Elena screamed, tears instantly cascading down her cheeks once more. "What did they do?" "Mr. Vance. He fired me an hour ago," her father sobbed, his voice breaking into a wet cough. He said I raised a thief. He said you tried to blackmail young Master Leo. And now the police, they say I owe millions for broken equipment in the estate garage." "Elena, they're going to arrest me." A harsh, booming voice cut into the phone call, distant but clear. "Shut up, old man. Sign the confession, or you'll spend the rest of your miserable life in a cell. Dad! Dad! Elena shrieked into the receiver. The line went dead with a harsh, agonizing beep. No, no, no. Please, God, no! Elena sobbed frantically, tapping the shattered screen again and again, but the display remained dark. Her phone slipped from her slick, trembling fingers, bouncing off her knee and falling onto the floor. Leo hadn't just rejected her. He hadn't just broken her heart. He was destroying her entire life. He was wiping her and her innocent father off the face of the earth, ensuring they could never speak out, never defend themselves, and never return, he promised me. Elena choked out, burying her face in her bruised hands, her body shaking with violent, uncontrollable sobs. He promised he would protect us. How could he do this to my father? My father served his family for 20 years. Because cruelty is the only tool a weak man possesses when he wishes to feel like a king. Dominic's voice boomed softly in the enclosed space. Elena lifted her head, her face pale, tear-streaked, and twisted in profound agony. The sorrow in her eyes was slowly being consumed by something far darker, far heavier, a burning, suffocating rage that she had never felt before in her life. I have nothing left, she whispered, her voice dead and hollow. He took my heart, my dignity, and now he's taking my father. Then take something from him, Dominic said smoothly. Elena blinked through her tears. Staring at the Mafia Boss, Dominic set his glass down in the gold-trimmed cup holder. He reached into his tailored jacket, pulled out a thick, heavy envelope made of textured black paper, and placed it on the leather seat directly between them. A wax seal bearing an intricate crest, a coiled viper beneath a crown gleamed blood red in the shadows. What is that? Elena asked, her breath catching in her throat. An invitation, Dominic replied, his hazel eyes locking onto hers with terrifying intensity. Leo Vance believes he is untouchable because he hides behind his family's money and legal teams. He believes you are a helpless insect he can crush beneath his shoe without consequence. Dominic leaned forward, his broad frame casting a massive shadow over her. The faint scent of leather, tobacco, and expensive cologne washed over her senses. Overwhelming and intoxicating. I can free your father before sunrise, Dominic stated calmly, as if altering the fate of an innocent man were as effortless as breathing. I can wipe away every debt, destroy every false accusation, and erase the Vance family's influence over your life forever. Elena's lips parted in shock. In exchange for what? A faint, predatory smile curved Dominic's lips. He reached out, his leather-gloved index finger gently lifting her chin, forcing her to look directly into his lethal, glowing, hazel eyes. His touch was firm, inescapable, yet surprisingly precise. In exchange for your total, absolute surrender, Dominic purred, his voice dropping into a thrilling, dangerous whisper. You step into my world. You leave behind the fragile, pathetic girl who begged a boy for scraps of affection. You become mine, my ward, my weapon, my queen. Elena's heart hammered against her ribs, a wild, chaotic rhythm. The fear inside her was palpable, but beneath the terror, the black embers of vengeance burned bright. He ruined me, Elena whispered, her icy fingers reaching out toward the black envelope. She touched the smooth paper, feeling the heavy weight of the choice before her. He made me feel like trash. Then let me teach you how to burn his kingdom to the ground, Dominic murmured, his grip on her chin tightening just enough to command her focus. Do we have a deal, Elena? Elena looked back at her shattered phone on the floor, thinking of her innocent father crying in the dark, and then thought of Leo Vance standing in his grand manor, laughing at her ruin. She squeezed her eyes shut, let out a long, shuddering breath, and opened them again. The tears were gone, replaced by a cold, unwavering resolve. Save my father, Elena said, her voice dropping all traces of hesitation, as sharp as a newly forged blade. And I am yours. Dominic's eyes flared with a dark, triumphant fire. He released her chin, his gloved fingers tracing a slow, possessive line down the side of her neck before coming to rest over the fast, fluttering pulse at her throat. "A wise choice, little bird," Dominic purred softly, picking up his glass once more as the Maybach turned off the main highway, heading deep into the secluded, gated estate district where the real monsters lived. Welcome to the dark. That's the end of this chapter. The next chapter is coming very soon. Smash that subscribe button right now and drop a comment below so you won't miss the thrilling next plot twist. See you in the next chapter.